Hello, my lovely students, my lovely atoms. Hope you all are doing absolutely awesome and in a very good health. My name is Anubha Gaur, your chemistry master teacher at Vedantu, your AG ma'am, and I welcome you all to the session. So, students, what basically are we going to do today? You can see that in front of you. That is VIP series called as Very Important Problem Series. Now, you must be thinking, ma'am, why should we follow this? What is so special about the series? So, students, as the name is suggesting that we are going to discuss very important problems when it comes to a particular chapter. So, you can stay till the end and can revise each and every important problem along with me. I hope you had followed Sprintex series also. In Sprintex series, we had taken all the important questions along with the previous year questions that has a very high probability to come in exams. So please follow all the series because this is going to help you to boost your score and your confidence. Have a notebook and pen also today. Start solving all the questions with me for your revision. You can get a better idea about the mistakes that you make and you can correct it before your exam and can ace your exam. Yes. So with that high Josh and energy, shall we start the session? This is session number one for study of acid spaces and salts. Yes, students. Let's start with a positive quote, and I really want to give you all the happy vibes and positive vibes and so much of encouragement. So here it is. You cannot change your future, but you can change your habits, right? Future is something that's not in our hand, but at least our habits are something that is in our hand, and surely your habit will change your future. So if you work enough on your habits, suppose let me just give you an example that I have a habit of waking up a bit late, just an example, and you know that this is not going to do good to your health, and obviously your work will also going to get affected. What will you do? If you'll start working on the same, start waking up a bit early, time by time, just have 15-minute timer, okay? That the very next day, I'll wake up 15 minutes early. And in the same way, the target you want to achieve, suppose that's 6 p.m., you can do it one by one, step by step, and then just follow it for around 21 days. It will become your habit, and see, you have changed your habit. So you can control that, and that is definitely going to affect your future. That is something that's absolutely true. You can follow that and can get the results, and do let me know in the comment section then. All right, so let's move ahead with the very first question. Do not forget to share the video, please like the video, and please comment and let me know how is it, and subscribe to the channel. All right, students, so the topics that we are going to discuss is about acids and bases classifications and chemical properties, and obviously how they are going to react with each other. Here comes the very first question, and that is, what do you understand by the term acid? Huh, what a easy question. What do you say? Acids, that is the base of chemistry, and compounds. Compounds are the one that we generally divide into acid, bases, and salt. So acid is those kind of a compound when they dissociate in water releases hydronium ions. Yes or no? 100% true. So acids are those substances when you talk about the physical property, they are sour in taste, they turn blue litmus to red, and also when you put it into water, they'll give you hydronium ions. Right? Let's talk about the B part. So one marker, you'll definitely get it. Positive ion formed when an acid is dissolved in water. That's what is there in front of you. That's hydronium ion, and draw the structure of this ion. So basically what happens, suppose this is my acid, students, that is hydrogen chloride. It won't show its acidic property until you put it in water. They are slightly, polar in nature. You know that already. This is my water, HOH. I have already told its structure in chemical bonding. We already discussed that. So this is my water, H2O, and oxygen is having two pair of electron which is not participating in bonding, called as lone pair of electron, because two electron they share from from hydrogen, and they are completing their octet, and hydrogen is completing their duplet. So what oxygen will do, oxygen is like, this hydrogen wanted to leave slightly positive. This oxygen is like, I can give you my lone pair of electron, you just leave this chlorine and attach with me. You will be happy because you will get a proper charge, proper acceptance of electron. So this HOH was water giving its electron to this hydrogen, and oxygen lost its electron to hydrogen, overall got a positive charge. This is your hydronium ion. You can simply write it in this way also, that after making that dative bond, coordination bond, all the bonds will be equal. So there is no need to show that sign of arrow, or you can say dative bond. Okay, so this is your hydronium ion that is formed in the acid. Is it clear? Super clear? Okay, so we will move ahead with the next question. Entire solution is attached, so you can easily download the PDF whenever you want. You can revise then. Okay. Question number 2 comes with something, so much of fruits and vegetables. Interesting, because these acids are called as organic acid because they are coming from the living sources. Organic itself means living. So the acid present in the following: tomato, what acid is there? Oxalic acid and also citric acid. Okay. All right. When it comes to vinegar, definitely what? Ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid is also called as, ethanoic acid is also called as, come on, tell me. Acetic acid, not acidic acid. Okay. Tamarind. I really like tamarind. What about you people? Let me know. Tamarind is having what kind of acid? Tartaric acid. Okay, tartaric acid. Some example is there in front of you. Organic acid. The source is organic. That's why organic acid. Comparatively weak in nature. Now let's move ahead with question number 3. What is basicity of an acid? Now this question always make me feel a bit, strange and shocked at the same time. That basicity of an acid, right? You must be thinking the same, because I used to think at my time, basicity of an acid shows basicity. So basically that's what the amount of those replaceable hydronium ion the acid is going to release, the atoms, the ions, the number of those replaceable hydronium ion or H ion that an acid is going to give is called as basicity. So basicity is what? Your base is kind of accept those H ion or hydronium ion. So that is defining that. Okay. So basicity of an acid is the number of replaceable H ion the acid can give maybe to the bases. And give examples. Let's just understand. If I talk about HNO3, my nitric acid, this is my monobasic. Monobasic means, mono means one, basic means having one basicity, one replaceable H ion here. And when I talk about acetic acid, this is acetic acid, CH3COH, negative, positive, again, monobasic, one basicity, because one replaceable H ion. Phosphoric acid is the one that generally H3PO4. Okay, this is phosphoric acid. How to write the structure of your oxo acid of phosphorus? You write phosphorus in between your central atom, and that will make the maximum bond possible for it. For phosphorus, that's 5. And always when it has to make bond with hydrogen, oxygen, one bond is always with oxygen, that's a double bond. One bond with oxygen containing hydrogen, OH. And then 3 bond is already done. 2 bond you have to make apart from that, and I'm left with 2 hydrogen and 2 oxygen. And always write hydrogen along with oxygen, because this bond is easy to break. These hydrogen are easily replaceable. If you connect directly hydrogen to phosphorus, that was not the one that's replaceable. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. This is my tri-basic, because here the basicity is 3. Did you get this point? This is easy as well. And similarly, just try this out. There's one work I'm giving to you. H3PO3, phosphorus acid. I drew phosphoric acid. The same rule you have to apply. And then let me know the basicity of phosphorus acid. I'll wait for your comments. Okay, let's move ahead, because practice is important and I don't want my students to have any kind of doubts, and they do enough work here and they can see some information on Google and some help of the book and master all the topics possible. Now, this is the reverse of the last question. What is acidity of a base? Base shows acidity. Strange, right? Yeah. So for base, what will be the acidity? The number of replaceable OH ion it can have and can maybe give to the acid and can react with the same. So number of replaceable OH ion. Example, when I talk about NaOH, sodium hydroxide, here acidity is Acidity is 1. What about calcium hydroxide? Here the acidity is 2. If I talk about aluminium hydroxide, here acidity is 3. Triacidic, diacidic, in that way you can say. Okay. Now, what is the next question? State three properties of an alkali. What is an alkali? You can easily tell that alkali is something that's a water soluble base. So alkali is a part of base only. Alkali is a category of base. If that entire circle represent base, alkali is just a part of it. Okay. So alkalis are those bases which are water soluble. Number one thing, alkali are something that generally is responsible for the making of soap and because of slippery to touch. These are the one more of like deliquescent in nature. They combine with the water and they are having that slippery feeling, and then water soluble also they are. Okay. And apart from that, you can talk about their litmus test, their test with the synthetic indicator like phenolphthalein and methyl orange, methyl red, right? If I talk about red litmus, definitely it will turn red litmus to blue because it's an alkali. Phenolphthalein, phenolphthalein, if I'll talk about, it will turn to magenta pink because in base that will give the same color. Methyl orange, I told a technique also. Roy, you can remember that in base it gives yellow color, in acid red, and itself is of orange color because in left side we represent acid in the pH, right side base, in between we have our neutral substance. Maybe you can say actual color. This will make sense to you, right, students? Okay. So let's move ahead and let's understand this question as well. Give two examples of each of the following oxyacid. So what exactly is oxyacid, students? The acid that contains oxygen, right? And oxyacid is something that we make of a non-metal having oxygen and hydrogen. So oxyacid of, suppose phosphorus will be this, phosphorus acid and phosphoric acid. Even sulfuric acid is also oxyacid, oxyacid of sulfur. Okay, so these are some of the examples. HNO3, nitric acid, oxyacid of nitrogen. So they have hydrogen as well as oxygen in the acid. Hydroacid, hydrogen containing acid, generally binary acid like my HCl, okay? Or you can say HNO3, you can say H2SO4. Hydroacid, the acid contains hydrogen and whenever you put it in water easily give hydronium ion. Tribasic acid is the one. Acid tribasic means replaceable. Three ions must be there. And two examples we have to give. So H3PO4, don't write H3PO3. That is phosphorus acid, that won't show the same basicity. And that is the question that I had given you. So I'm waiting for your answer. Phosphoric acid is tribasic, even your boric acid, H3BO3. Okay, try out the structure of this also. It's like this, BOH, OH, OH. This is the structure of boric acid, three replaceable H ion. Dibasic acid, definitely sulfuric acid because two replaceable two replaceable H ions it's going to give you. Yup, students, you got it properly. That's so wonderful. So we will move ahead. But some information about our platform, that Vedantu, that how it can help you to gain 100% knowledge and you can score 100% marks, means like you can definitely boost your score, definitely with a very good percentage. 90 above is also possible. And obviously you have to work hard along with us also. Unlimited live class you will be able to attend on our platform. How come? In each and every class, teacher will teach you a topic and take a quick quiz. So it's like suppose 15 minutes a teacher is taking to explain a topic, then quiz to make sure that you get it with the help of the data, that how many students got the right answer and all, and can explain the topic accordingly with all the type of quizzes so that you can actively participate and learn in a very healthy environment with the competition with students throughout the world. So this will be awesome. You will be able to see all the replays of each and every session, that to interactive replay, not like you just have to listen by just sitting on one place. You can participate in the live quizzes in the replay too and can come to leaderboard just to make sure that you're learning. It's not it must not be a passive learning only. Also, you will be able to get all the downloadable notes, means with each and every session, whatever the teacher is going to teach you, with his or her own feedback. This is important. These are the in-text questions that you should do and all. You can download the file and can practice anytime, anywhere. Okay, in class doubt solving. So it's not only master teachers who are going to teach you and sit in the class, but a team of class teachers are also there with each and every section divided so that every student will not face any kind of a problem and doubt and can be catered with the help of students. I mean, with the help of other teachers as well. So going to be awesome, awesome. But this is not going to end here. There are so many courses apart from that also you're getting. Now you're like, ma'am, why? What's the use if we get it right now? Because there are so many crash courses going on. Your date sheet is out. Your exam is from 5th May, I suppose. So you still have time of entire March and April to make sure if there are still some topic that is troubling you, if you're still looking for a proper revision plan, this is a time and you can do that in a very, very less price. So Vedantu is trying to help you in a minimum price possible. If you apply the code AGE Pro, you will avail all those offers that we are going to give you. So there is a link in the description box. That is the one that is highlighted by the team in the comment section also. So you have to open that, select the link, select your target ICSE 2021, and the March subscription you can get in just 1200 rupees. Pro already decreased the price to 1500. AGE Pro code is just making the same course in 1200 rupees. That means a session in as low as 6 rupees. You will be able to revise each and everything with a set of classes, like 60 classes, and your revision will be completed. This is just an idea. In total, I'm talking about all the 6 main subjects. Okay, so come and make sure that your revision is up to the par. And you can also enroll for the higher classes. There are still all the windows open. Just check it out. Okay, students. And if you need any help, you can always connect to me on my email ID. That's anubha.gaur@vedantu.com. I'll give you at the last also in the last slide. Okay. Shall we move ahead? Hope you understood all the important things I wanted to tell you. So let's take a step ahead. Now, question number 6 says, what's the difference between an alkali and a base? Oh, ma'am, such an easy question. Okay, alkali is something that is those bases which are water soluble. And if I just consider base, that may or may not be water soluble. With the help of example, my group 1 metals are the one, they make very strong water soluble bases like NaOH, KOH. These are the metal, alkali metal. In water, they give alkali water soluble bases. And bases can be NaOH, KOH, but also copper hydroxide, suppose, zinc hydroxide, aluminium hydroxide, and calcium hydroxide. These are not so much water soluble. They'll settle down in form of precipitate. So that's the difference between an alkali and a base. Okay. And alkalis are generally strong bases only with a high pH range. Bases may or may not be, the strong one. They comes with a variety of colors, weak, strong, or whatsoever. I have given you an example to prove the same. Yeah? Okay. The next part is what? The chemical nature of an aqueous solution of HCl and aqueous solution of NH3. This is a pancake question. Like very sweet and easy. Good to see this. So HCl aqueous solution means whenever you put water, it will dissociate into ions with the help of water. Water will attach around this H ion, hydronium ion, and chloride aqueous ion. So acidic behavior definitely. If you take your blue litmus, it will turn red. And when you talk about ammonia, ammonia is a gas. So to check its nature, you have to put it into water. That means I've taken aqueous solution and it will give what? Ammonium hydroxide. It's HOH. So NH3 is going to take this H and then OH, NH4OH, ammonium hydroxide, basic solution. So if you take your red litmus paper, it will turn blue. Okay, you got it? Very nice, wonderful. Now, what will be the next question? Will that be easy or difficult? You have to decide. This is the question. Somehow, I have given you a little bit of hint about this question in one of the question, and that is the skin has and needs some natural oils. Yes, we have this some natural oil. Why is it advisable to wear gloves while working with strong alkalis? Good question. You are a good question. Okay. So why this is a good question, students? Because let's just understand this. Natural application, we are just saying that when you handle alkali, please remember alkalis are the one that with the help of which we make soap. So alkali, if you're having it, we have natural oil in our skin, right? So natural oil are the one reacting with alkali to make some of the substances with the help of which we are making the base. Okay, natural fat and oil react with the alkali to give some substance, ester and all, and they are responsible for the making of soap further. So they take the natural, whenever alkali comes in contact with the skin, take the natural oil, react with the same, and make soapy substances. So that is taking away our natural oil and making our skin very dry. So that's one of the reason that it's advisable to wear gloves while working with strong alkali like KOH and NaOH. Okay? Soap formation. That is the real solution. Let's move ahead with question number 8. And question number 8 says zinc sulfate is a salt, sulfur dioxide is an acidic oxide, and lead monoxide is a basic oxide. What is meant by these terms? This is something that is checking the knowledge of the chapter acid basis salt with help of very basic question. Zinc sulfate is a salt. You know that salt is either a product of acid base reaction, you get salt and water, or when your metal react with acid, you get that metal salt. So we can totally see that this is a salt because when zinc metal react with diluted sulfuric acid, what it is going to give you a displacement reaction. You get zinc sulfate salt along with hydrogen gas. So definitely this zinc sulfate is nothing but a metal salt. That's how we got it. And we can prove that. Okay. Now sulfur dioxide is an acidic oxide. Why? Because your non-metal oxides are acidic in nature. Your non-metal oxides are acidic in nature. And I can prove that because whenever you put it into water to check its nature, what will happen? Your water will combine with sulfur dioxide to give H2SO3. And that is my not sulfuric acid, sulfurous acid. If that would be SO3, I might have got H2SO4 sulfuric acid. But here SO2, so sulfurous acid, and we had proved that this is acidic oxide because putting in water we are getting an acid, and when we take a blue litmus it will turn red. Clear? Now let's talk about lead oxide. This is metallic oxides, and generally metallic oxides are basic in nature. Though lead is something that shows amphoteric property too, so definitely that will be basic because it can show basic property because of being metallic oxide. How to prove? If you put it in water, it will give your uh, or you can do one more example to check the basic behavior. Just put it in acid base gives salt and water. So if you are taking with HCl, I have taken the diluted solution of HCl, you have taken this and put it into the same, what you're going to get? Pb with Cl2, PbCl2, H2 with one oxygen, H2O. So how to check the nature of oxide? You can, to check its basic, you can put it in acid, you get salt and water. Neutralization, if they are showing neutralization, that's definitely this oxide is basic because that's reacting with acid to give salt and water. This part is also crystal clear, sprite clear, right, students? I am very much hopeful that you got it properly. Yep. Okay. Name three classes of substances which react with an acid to form salt. Write equation to describe their reaction with suitable acid. Name three type of a substances, three different class of substances that can react with an acid to form salt. This is again one question and checking your entire knowledge of the chemical reactions. Okay, that three substances reacting with an acid to form salt. Let's do that. Acid, acid, acid. And with acid, that must get salt. You know that base with acid gives salt along with water, right? Even my metallic oxide, because basic in nature, combine with acid to give salt and water. Water is not something we are focusing on here, salt. And even metallic carbonate and bicarbonate react with acid to give salt water along with CO2. Agreed? So yes, we have three different classes. But let's just understand this with the help of some example. Let me change the color of the pen. Okay. NaOH, I'm selecting the base as HCl. You can choose sulfuric acid also, not to worry. You have taken these two diluted solution. You got your salt, that is NaCl along with water. NaCl. Okay. Metallic oxides with the acid. You can take calcium oxide and I'm putting it into HCl. Take two molecules to balance the reaction because that's what is important. Calcium with chlorine, you got salt calcium chloride along with H2O. That's water everywhere. No water to drink, right? Calcium carbonate also you can take metallic carbonate. I have taken acid and what reaction it will show? Calcium with chlorine, calcium chloride, two hydrogen takes one oxygen, H2O and definitely CO2 because that's what the left reaction is balanced to. Yep. I hope you got it properly. Do let me know in the comment section. And let's keep the target to achieve 250 likes till the end of the session. Can we get it? Not a big target. Don't forget to subscribe and share it to your friends so that they can also come and see how all the work for ICSE 10th class we are doing. Yup, students? Okay. Now this question, which is I must say easy peasy question. I hope that's how you write it. While mixing strong sulfuric acid and water, why is it the acid always poured slowly into water instead of water into acid? This is my water, and we are going to take a dropper and drop by drop we are going to put our acid, right? Okay. And that too continuously stirring. Why so? Because acid is such a dangerous substance to handle. It's very corrosive in nature. So if you take acid and put directly water, tremendous amount of energy is released as it's highly exothermic process. Process, not reaction. It's just dilution or physical change. So whenever your water just get touched with that acid reaction is so exothermic, the amount of heat release will convert the water into vapors and along with that acid uh, vapors will also come that can splash at our face, at our clothes. Even the amount of heat evolved is sometimes so much your beaker can break and it will be a mess and you can harm yourself too. So that's not a good idea. Now the case is when you take water and put acid drop by drop, will that be the same case? No, I'm not talking about the amount of heat energy that's going to evolve. It just I am able to control the amount of heat because I'm doing it how? Taking water which is neutral and putting few drop of acid and then stirring it. Few drop of acid and stirring it with the help of a stirrer because now the less amount of acid is reacting with plenty of water which is neutral, the heat that is released we are able to control it. The amount of heat energy which was initially releasing at one time, I'm able to control it like in a small bits and parts. So that's the reason that we always put acid into water and not going to do the reverse job. Is that something that is making sense to you? I hope you got it. It's not difficult. And if you still find it difficult, do let me know in the comment section. I'll try to give you the proper solution as well. Okay, but your comments are necessary, so at least do let me know. And as I said, Vedantu is still open for your crash courses, for your quick revision. And if you apply AGE Pro code with the link in the description box and also the message which was pinned by Vedantu in the comment section and select your ICSC target 10th, you will get a session in as low as 6 rupees, which is the cheapest that is possible. Okay, students, so come and join. You can follow me on Instagram also. Finally, chemistry.vedantu underscore Anubha. Keep following, students. And don't forget, as I said, like, share, and subscribe. Let's have our target to be achieved. You can share it and you can reach out to me on my email ID. Thank you so much. I hope this is a helpful video for you. And let's meet next time. Until then, keep revising, keep learning, Take care of yourself. Tada.